Well, welcome to the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. I am Caleb Jones, location independent income, dating multiple attractive women without cheating or lying or drama or problems. The freest lifestyle available to the modern day man, the typical modern day man. One of my core concepts in life, and one of the core concepts that I've talked about that I teach, talked about this for 10 years plus on the internet in various forums, is that everything in your life is your fault. Everything. All the good things are your fault, but all the bad things are also your fault. Provided you're over the age of 18. Now, if you're under the age of 18, that's different. Because you're under the age of 18, you still live with your parents, you don't have full agency. So there can be a lot of things in your life if you're a kid that are bad, that are not your fault, they're your parents' fault. But provided you're over the age of 18, everything in your life is your fault. You cannot, when you're over the age of 18, point at a problem and say, well, that's because my mom did this when I was 5. No, because that may not have been your fault when it occurred when you were 5, but the way you react is 100% your fault and your decision. And that is an unpopular belief these days, because these days everyone wants to point the finger. It's not my fault. It's my ex-wife's fault. It's my ex-girlfriend's fault. It's my boss's fault. It's my roommate's fault. It's the economy's fault. If you're a left-winger, it is billionaires' fault. It's Republicans' fault. It's white people's fault. If you're a right-winger, it's the woke people's fault. It's feminists' fault. It's socialists' fault. It's always someone else's fault. No, in all cases, that is all incorrect. It is 100% your fault. And I should do a whole series of videos on this. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. Yes, I know what people do when they respond. They come up with the fraction of 1% rule, and they say stupid things like, oh, right, so if someone breaks into your house in the middle of the night, rapes your daughter, it was your daughter's fault. Fraction 1%. Or, a little kid getting cancer, that's his fault. How often do little kids get cancer? How often do people break into your house and rape your daughter? And as always, if you use the exception to the rule as your point, it means you don't have one. So if it's a problem, it's your fault. Okay? All right. And back years ago, I used to talk about this in my blogs, and a very interesting thing occurred. I was inundated by 2 categories of internet people. These would be nihilists and determinists. And I will try my best to describe these things. There are probably a few of you in my audience, matter of fact, I know there are, for what happened. Nihilism is basically nothing matters, because you're gonna die no matter what someday, so what's the fucking point? Why bother date hot girls? Why bother making money? Why bother start a business? You can't control anything in life. Nothing is under your control, and then you just die, so what's the fucking point? That's a nihilist. The determinist, I guess, they follow determinism, I said that wrong, determinism. And the determinism says, oh no, I'm not a nihilist. Oh no, that's not me. I don't believe in nihilism. I believe in determinism, Caleb. And that basically means that you have no free will whatsoever. You have no personal agency. Everything you do is because you are a robot. You've been programmed to do that either through your biology or through your environment. Therefore, nothing can be your fault because you are wired, you are programmed to do that. Now, the determinists will say things like, oh, sure, yes. If you have a criminal, yes, you have to throw them in jail to prevent him from harming other people. But it's not his fault he killed people. It's not his fault he molested it's not his fault, because he had no choice. Okay, so it was very interesting way back years ago, this is 10 years plus now, my blog, when I would talk about everything in your life is your fault, I attracted these hordes of nihilists and determinists to my blog. And every time we talked about any topic, a bunch of nihilists would come in and say, what's the fucking point? We're all gonna die. This is all useless information. Or the determinists say, well, there's no free will, so what's the point of doing any of this stuff? And it got so bad that, and there's a handful of you who were following me way back then, who are listening to this podcast or watch this video, where I actually, in the first time and the only time in the history of my blogging career, which lasted 15 plus years, I had to ban that topic from my blog. And I had to make an official post that said, if anyone posts about nihilism or determinism, I'm sorry, I'm going to delete the comment, because every time we talk about that, it changes whatever topic we're talking about. It didn't matter what the topic was. The topic could have been about politics, could have been about soft nexting, could have been about business, could have been about dating. It doesn't matter. These nihilists and sometimes determinists would come in and change the topic to nihilism or determinism. And I said, sorry, if you say this again, I'll have to delete your comment. And these people screamed and ranted, and I deleted their comments and banned them. And it was weird that these people felt so strongly about this. So today I'm going to talk about my view on this. I mentioned some of this on my blog at the time. The issue is, so let's deal with nihilism first and then determinism second, because they're slightly different. They're in the same vein, okay? They're definitely in the same category. And again, and I may even get comments on this podcast, Caleb, I'm not a nihilist, I'm a determinist, as if it's radically different. It isn't. It's almost the same thing. It's just 10% less negative. Nihilism is fundamentally irrational. Yes, things matter. What you do does matter. You can sit at home and eat a bunch of Doritos and never do any work, and your life is going to be much worse than if you get off your fat ass or your skinny fat ass or your skinny ass, your loser ass, what I should say. You get off your ass and you go do things in the world to make your life better. You get more sleep, you exercise more, you meditate more, you work on your Alpha 2.0 business, your location-independent business, you work on your dating life, you start getting laid with attractive women, you start making location-independent income. These things take time, but your life will be better and you will be happier instead of just sitting around saying, why bother? Nothing's under my control. You can actually put many things in your control. I'm in control of my entire life. I'm in control of my entire finances. I don't have a job, so no boss controls me. I am not in one industry, I'm in 3 or 4, so no one industry controls me. I have a 5 flags lifestyle, so no one country controls me. I control my life. I am non-monogamous, so no one controls my sex life, even though I'm married. So I'm in complete control. And I wasn't in control when I was 20, 21, 22, and I was kind of angry and say, this is bullshit. So you can actually put things in your control. So you saying I have no control of this and nothing matters, you are fundamentally wrong. You are fundamentally, logistically, scientifically, rationally wrong. Now, yes, you're probably going to die someday, that's true. But you can live on this earth for 70 years or whatever it's going to be, and you can have a happy experience or you can have a horrible, shitty experience those 70 years. I don't know about you, but I would choose a happy experience instead of this sucks, what's the point? I don't think I want to live 70 years thinking like that and being miserable for 70 years. Okay, just my opinion. So that's why nihilists are fundamentally wrong. And if you have any nihilist viewpoints, you should probably reconsider them if you want to be a happy person. If you don't care about happiness, I don't know what you're doing listening to this podcast. You're in the very wrong place. If you just do not care about happiness, long-term happiness in particular. And it's strange to me that there's a percentage of my audience that regularly watches my content or listens to my content, reads my content, consumes my content, who don't care about happiness. It's odd to me. I don't watch videos, listen to podcasts of people where they're talking about things I literally don't care about. I don't know why you would waste your time. So now let's shift gears slightly and let's talk about determinists, who again are very quick to point out, I'm not a nihilist. I don't believe in nihilism. I believe in determinism, as if it's radically different than it isn't. Let me give you an example, and this is an update of an example I used many years ago. What's a popular multiplayer game right now? Is it Fortnite? See, I'm an old man. I don't know what's cool and with the nerd kids, with the cool kids. So it used to be back in my day, it was World of Warcraft, but that's very old now. Fortnite, now it's what? What is it now? Is it some variant of Call of Duty? Whatever is a cool multiplayer game now. I'll use Fortnite as an example, okay? You're with your team playing Fortnite, right? And you're shooting the bad guys, you're shooting the other team, right? And you suddenly just stop. You stop shooting and you just stand there in the street and you message your other guys, your team, and you say correctly, scientifically accurately, you say, this is all bullshit. This is all a bunch of ones and zeros. We're not really here shooting. We're not in a city. I'm not some hot girl with big tits. This is all just ones and zeros. This is all bullshit. This is all stupid. What the fuck? What's the fucking, what's the point of this? It's stupid. You guys, come on. This isn't real. And then as you're lecturing your friends on how this isn't real and it's ones and zeros and you're on a server somewhere and this is all bullshit and you're just sitting pressing buttons on a keyboard, because of you, your team gets wiped out and you all lose, you all die. And now everybody hates you, okay? Now, were you wrong? No, you were technically right. You were right. This is all ones and zeros. This is all fake. That's true. But the point of playing Fortnite is entertainment, right? It's to have fun, to put a smile on your face, do something you enjoy. That's the point. So if you log into Fortnite and walk around telling everyone this is bullshit, this is real, and you just stand there and get killed over and over again, you are defeating the entire point of you playing the game. Okay? Where am I going with this? Well, if you're a determinist and you are a Scott Adams, Sam Harris, absolutely 100% free will does not exist type guy, it is not relevant if you are right or wrong. So I'm going to give it to you for the purpose of this discussion. If you're a determinist, if you're a zero free will guy, I'm going to give that to you. Okay, you're right. On some deeply biological, cellular, or atomic level, free will doesn't exist. Okay, that's possible. It is possible that the guys who say free will doesn't exist are right. Matter of fact, it's likely that they're right on some deep cellular, microcellular level that you're not aware of. Okay? So I'm just going to give that to you. Okay, you're right. Free will doesn't exist. And determinism exists in that you are wired at a microcellular level to do whatever it is you're doing in a given day. So if you wake up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., you didn't choose that. Your microcellular biology, your wiring from your childhood when you were 6, your biology, the culture in which you were raised, all these other, what you ate the day before, well, all these other factors, those determined what time you woke up, not you. You have no free will and no agency whatsoever. I'm going to give you that, okay? Now, whether or not that's true is a very big, complex discussion I'm not willing to have because it's way too off topic for Alpha Male 2.0. I'm just going to give it to you. All right, I agree with you. You're right. Does that matter? Just like the guy in Fortnite who says this is all bullshit, this is all game. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. Whenever I look at something, I ask myself 2 questions. I've mentioned this before. Is it real? Is it relevant? And they have to both be, the answers both be yes for me to give a shit. If it's real, let's say it's not real, well, now I don't care, right? Donald Trump, if we vote for Donald Trump in 2016, he'll make America great again. Is that real? No. So I didn't pay attention. Or I didn't do it. It's not real. Is it real? 2 + 2 = 4. Is it real? Yes. Okay, so then I have to ask myself the next question. Is it relevant? So do we have free will? Let's say the answer is yes, or excuse me, let's say the answer is no, we don't have free will. Okay, fine. Is that relevant to your day-to-day experience? No, not at all. Not at all real. So if you are in Fortnite and you're saying this is all fake, is it relevant to the experience? You're in there playing a game for entertainment purposes. You are purposely playing with other people who are purposely playing this game for that reason. Is it relevant that it is all fake? No. As a matter of fact, the entire point is to immerse yourself in that experience and convince yourself that it is real. That's why you play games. Most people, right? That's why you play role-playing games. That's why you play board games in some respects. But it's certainly why you play role-play games or computer games. And as I mentioned before, I have been playing computer games since the majority of you listening to this podcast were born. I was playing computer games in 1982. Okay? I have a feeling most of you were not born in 1982. Matter of fact, I don't have a feeling, I know. So I am an expert at playing games. I haven't played games in 2 years because I've been busy working, building my mission and working on that stuff. More important to me than playing games. I'll get back to it. But the entire point of playing the game is to entertain. So you are living in this universe, whatever this universe is. If this is a construct, if this is real, if there's a God, if there's no God, if this is a simulation. These are all interesting questions that are fun to discuss, but none of this is relevant. It's the same thing about talking whether or not God is real. Are Christians right or are atheists right? You know what? Guess what? It's not relevant. It isn't relevant at all to your day-to-day life. It's not relevant. Okay? It isn't. What about prayer and meditation? I meditate every day, almost every day. Yes, affirmations are real. Prayer is just another form of affirmations. There is scientific data that shows that affirmations help. Yes. So that is relevant. But without, it's God doing it for you, not relevant. Same thing with free will. Same thing with determinism. So view this life you're playing as a game that you have chosen to play. And as long as you don't kill yourself, you have chosen to play this game. Let me focus on that for a minute. You've chosen to play this game of life. You've chosen this. You're here listening to me. So that means you haven't killed yourself yet. So you've chosen to play this game. Every day you choose not to kill yourself, and I'm never going to kill myself. You've chosen to play this game. Even if you're depressed and miserable, you still chose to play this game. You could kill yourself whenever you want. It's not that hard. It really isn't that tough, okay? So you haven't done that, so you've chosen to play the game. So if you're going to play the game, play the game. Don't sit around like a nihilist and say, what's the point? Or like a determinist say, I have no free will, so I can't punish anything. Things aren't my fault. None of this is my fault. What is the fucking point of doing this when you've chosen to play this game? You are just as stupid when you're a nihilist or a determinist. Yes, a determinist too. Of going around and say, well, no one has any free will and nothing's anyone's fault. You are just as stupid as that guy in Fortnite saying, this is all bullshit, this isn't real, and then you sit there and get killed. Why not just kill yourself? Now, I realize that when you say that, the determinists say, well, that's for nihilists. I'm not a nihilist. I don't want to kill myself. Okay, then if you don't kill yourself, you've chosen to play this game. I'm saying you should play it. Why play the game and sit there and bitch about how the game isn't real, or we don't have free will, or whatever it is you're bitching about? What's the point? What is your end game objective here? You see my point? You see why this whole thing is stupid? This entire discussion is stupid, other than having a philosophical discussion about the existence of free will, which I think is interesting, okay? I think it's very interesting to listen to these Sam Harris debates on whether or not we have free will. It's interesting as a philosophical exercise for 20 minutes, and then I get back to my life, where it's not relevant whether or not I have free will, okay? Moreover, what is more empowering? You waking up every morning saying, nothing I do is my fault because I have no free will, or everything is my fault and I choose. What will make you more empowered? What will raise the odds you will accomplish the goals that will make you happier? Because happiness and unhappiness do exist. I don't care if you're a nihilist or determinist, happiness and unhappiness do exist. You can't deny those things. Which viewpoint is more likely to make you happy? If it is to be, it's up to me, I have 100% free will, everything is my fault, or nothing's my fault, I'm not responsible for anything because I have no free will, so I'm just gonna whatever. What do you think? I teach long-term happiness here at Alpha Male 2.0. That's what I teach here. So it'd be antithetical for me to tell you to embrace the concept of you have no free will, because that's less likely to make you happy. Whether or not you think it's real, not relevant. Even if you're 100% right, and you might be, not relevant. 2 + 2 = 4. True. What value is it to me to walk around saying 2 + 2 = 4, 2 + 2 = 4, and constantly viewing 2 + 2 = 4 in my head? Everything I do while I'm working, while I'm having sex, while I'm walking, 2 + 2 = 4. Why? What value is that to me? None. Even though 2 + 2 does equal 4, correct. Is it real? But is it relevant? Make sense? If you are a determinist, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you are ruining the entire point of living. Because you are. You're ruining the entire point of playing the game that you have chosen to play. And yes, you have chosen to play this. And if you haven't chosen, go kill yourself. Then you've proven my point. You've chosen to exit the game. Great. And which, by the way, you have every right to do. I'm a libertarian. You own your body. You have every right to kill yourself whenever you want. It's your body. Fine. You want to offer yourself, go ahead. Then you have at least exited the game and now you don't have to worry about this. But if as long as you keep choosing to play this game, fucking choose to play the game. Why would you not kill yourself, but yet walk around saying nothing's my fault because I have no free will? It makes no sense, even if you're scientifically accurate on some microcellular level none of us are consciously aware of. You see my point? Everything in your life is your fault. All the good conditions and all the bad conditions are your fault, and that's a good thing, because if something is bad and it's your fault, you have the power to change it. If nothing was your fault, then every negative condition would be something you couldn't fix, and you'd be fucked. That's why it is so good for your happiness to say, and it's accurate, I'm right about this, everything in your life is your fault, which is a good thing. I want the bad things in my life to be 100% my fault. Okay? Because now I have the ability, the option at least, to change them. We could have a whole different discussion about how hard they are to change, completely separate discussion, but you can change them. Okay? Make sense? That's why nihilism and determinism are both stupid. I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.